Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of the Day or Night in the Desert podcast. I'm your co-host, Zach Morris, and I am here with my co-host, James Knight. How's it going, James?
It's going great. We're super excited to be 12 episodes into this podcast. It's been a super exciting journey for both of us. And before we get started, we just want to invite you all to subscribe and turn on post notifications on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube so that you never miss any of our great content. Our content has been really good so far. We've gotten a lot of views, but we want to keep building and keep growing our podcast, and we hope to see you guys on there soon. And with that being said, though, we're going to get into our content because we know that's what y'all are here for. We're going to start off by talking about the Utah Mammoth. They won in a 6-5 overtime win over the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday night. Clayton Keller scored on a power play goal 33 seconds into overtime to lift the team to a massive win over the Edmonton Oilers. Nick Schmaltz also scored twice in the second period to rally the Mammoth from a 2-goal deficit, and ultimately the Mammoth and the Oilers ended up going back and forth. They ended up forcing overtime, and Clayton Keller with one of the clutchest goals I've ever seen in overtime to lift the Mammoth and to keep them in that top wildcard playoff spot. What was your initial reaction to that, Zach?
I was really pleased by what I saw. This team can do some special things going forward and going into the playoffs, but with this particular game, I liked what I saw from each player. It doesn't matter if they were in or out. They all came together as one. They all played together as a team. They played for the city. They played for the fans. They played for one another. I just liked what I saw from all firing from the cylinders from this team. I'm just really blown away. Clayton Keller, man, let me tell you, it was unbelievable what I have seen from him. And I'm just really excited for him to see the way how he's risen to become a superstar in the making. And I know that he can be our franchise player going down the road.
Yeah, and obviously it was a tremendous goal from Clayton Keller to end overtime. And we saw a lot from this Mammoth team, a lot of grit, a lot of character. They're down 2 goals in the first period. They come back, they rally, and they're just tough. And right now, they're in really good position. They're 4 points ahead of the Nashville Predators for the top wildcard spot, 5 points ahead of the LA Kings for a playoff spot. And that win over Edmonton was just huge to get us the confidence that we need going forward. We only have a few games left in the season, and I think that's going to play into what we do going forward. So I really liked what we saw from the whole team, and it was a great team effort and just great vibes all around from the Mammoth. But we got some other good stuff to get into today. The University of North Carolina has hired former Denver Nuggets head coach Mike Malone as their next men's basketball coach. Obviously, North Carolina recently fired Hubert Davis, and he'd obviously had a good record there, but they felt like it was time to move on. They now get an NBA champion head coach in Mike Malone to take over that spot for the University of North Carolina, one of the most prestigious college basketball programs in the country. What was your reaction to that hiring of Mike Malone at UNC?
Well, at first, I wasn't really excited about it, but I have really was blown away by what he said in his press conference. He just said all the right things to get this team to where they want to be going forward. I think the fans are really blown away by his press conference. I know all of his players are going to be blown away by that press conference. I have followed North Carolina for a long time. I have had a family member attend the University of North Carolina. She has told me that sports there in North Carolina mean a lot to that fan base. And not only the fan base, but to that state. I actually went there a couple years ago to a football game and basketball game. And let me tell you, their venues are next to none. And I am really excited for Mike Malone to see what he can do going forward. And I believe that he can get us into the right space to want to get into a national championship talk and beyond. So I'm just really blown away by how he has come in and has being ready to go. I don't know about the NIL or the portal. I don't know if he has any idea of what he's going to do, but I believe he probably has a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, but I am really excited for North Carolina in general.
And again, it is exciting because this coach, Mike Malone, he has a championship pedigree. He won a championship with the Denver Nuggets a couple of years ago. We saw that he brings the most out of his players, and I hope that he's able to transition that into the college game. We'll have to see. Sometimes coaches haven't had a lot of success doing that. I mean, Bill Belichick coming to North Carolina hasn't really been what we've wanted. He's obviously done a lot of great things with the New England Patriots in the NFL, but I think Mike Malone will be a better hire for North Carolina's basketball team than Belichick was for North Carolina's football team. And I think ultimately, he already has the pedigree. He already has the experience. I think that it'll be a good hire, and I think that they'll be good moving forward. And they obviously have all the tools necessary to be that great team. Blue blood program, one of the best, most premier programs in college basketball. So I'm excited to see what happens with that.
Oh, and one other thing to go back with the Utah Mammoth. We unveiled a new Zamboni called the Zammoth, and I saw pictures of it and a video of it last night, and I was just really blown away by what that team can accomplish as far as behind-the-scenes logistics. It was used from the 2002 Winter Olympics and was brought back to life and has a lot of new features on it that I've never seen before in a Zamboni. And I just really am excited for all these new behind-the-scenes logistics that Ryan Smith and that group can come up with.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. I had the chance to work that game last night and see the Zamboni for myself. It was a really, really cool experience. And yeah, great things for the Mammoth going forward. But we're going to get into some other topics today. Masters Week is upon us, guys. We got a lot of great storylines to talk about with the Masters. Phil and Tiger are going to miss the Masters for the first time since 1994. That's been a big topic, but the Masters is still going to be really great because there's a lot of great players that I'm looking forward to seeing. Obviously, world number one Scotty Scheffler. He's kind of had an up and down year. He's only won one time. He's still the best player in the world, and he will be coming off a little 2-week break because his wife just had a baby, and this will be his return to professional action, first major of the year. I expect good things from him. He's had this chance to kind of regroup his mind and his body in this little 2-week period, and obviously to have a little baby at home. Congratulations to the Schefflers. Another guy I'm looking forward to seeing is Bryson DeChambeau. He's won a couple of events over on the Live Tour, and he's known for being one of the best drivers in the world, and he's had a couple of high finishes at Augusta the last couple of years, and I think he is a guy who's kind of due for a win at the Masters. We saw him go toe-to-toe with Rory McIlroy last year. Rory ultimately ended up winning the Masters and completing the career Grand Slam, which was super awesome to see last year. That's the first time that's happened in a long time. He'll be a guy to watch for sure. John Rahm's another guy I'm looking at. He's performed well over on the Live Tour as well, and his game has looked fresh in recent weeks and months, and so looking forward to seeing John Rahm. Brooks Koepka's return to the PGA Tour has been a storyline this year as well. So again, a lot of great storylines going into this week at Augusta National. Zach, you've had the opportunity to attend the Masters and see all these guys play in person. What are you looking forward to seeing this week? And what are your predictions as far as who you believe is going to take home the green jacket this week?
I am looking forward to a great week. The Masters is a tournament unlike any other, and I've looked forward to it every single year, and I can't believe it's here, and I am so excited. But to be honest, I think Rory McIlroy has a chance to repeat this year. From what he did last year was just unbelievable. To get the career Grand Slam, that is just a great accomplishment, and I'm really happy for him and his family because it meant so much to them. But he has a good chance this week. Also, I think Bryson DeChambeau has another opportunity this week to take home the green jacket from his runner-up last year. Another guy I'm looking forward to seeing, Scotty Scheffler. Congrats to him and his wife on their newborn. I was really excited for that family. Another guy who I really want to see is Dustin Johnson. Even though he is on Live Tour, he has a lot to bring to Augusta. His ball striking is next to none. He can drive the ball. He can hit the fairways. He can hit bunkers. He can hit greens. Another guy who I don't know if anyone kind of remembers, but I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say Fred Couples. I'm just really excited to see what this week can bring. And I know a lot of you tune into the Masters each year. It's one of the biggest sporting events of the year. and I'm just really excited to watch it, to feel the energy of that crowd. I was able to attend the 2019 Masters, and that place is next to none. It was unbelievable. The scenery, just the vibe around the course. It's like a playground for adults. Just each hole is magnificent. The crowds, if a ball is hit, there's a roar upon the whole course you can hear. And just the overall vibe of the Masters there in Augusta, that town is going to be an electric atmosphere this week.
Yeah, I think it's one of the great tournaments that, Zach's obviously been a part of, and I've been able to watch it most years of my life. It's been a great privilege to be able to tune into that event every year. And I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. As far as my predictions are concerned, I believe that I'm going to go on a limb and say Bryson DeChambeau. The way that he's been hitting the ball, the distance, the accuracy, and he's had a couple of wins this year over on the Live Tour. I think his game's really rounding into form right now. And I just think that that's going to translate over to Augusta. And he has the confidence now. He's been there a couple of times. Experience pays dividends at Augusta, as we've seen many times in the past, where guys who have played the golf course more, have been in contention there, they ultimately tend to get it done eventually. And I think with Bryson, who's already contended a couple of times there, I think this is going to be the year where he's going to break through and ultimately get it done. I am excited to see other guys. Fred Couples, maybe his last chance to play at Augusta. I hope that he does well, although I don't think he can necessarily beat these younger guys, but I do think he can make the cut and maybe look good there. But I just think Bryson, it just seems to be his turn to get his green jacket moment, and I think he's due for it, considering he's been there enough times and he's had that experience. I think this year's where it kind of all comes together for Bryson DeChambeau.
On another topic, I would like to give a shout out to my good friend Logan Urey, who gave us some feedback about what he would like to see. And he was telling us he would like to see the WNBA a little bit. And we'll get into that a lot more. We'll follow it a little bit more. But the Chicago Sky have traded two-time WNBA All-Star Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream for first-round draft picks in 2027 and 2028. It was announced Monday the Dream also received 2028 second-round swap rights.
Yeah, this was an interesting trade. Obviously, Angel Reese has been somewhat of a polarizing figure in the world of sports, with just some of her opinions and maybe some of the things that she's done. But she clearly is a good basketball player, and she is a great rebounder, especially great on the boards. And I think she'll bring a lot to the Atlanta Dream. And there's going to be both negative and positive press with this, but I am looking forward to seeing what she does. Like many of you, I am also really excited to see Caitlin Clark in her third season coming back from injury. She's been the biggest star in the WNBA possibly ever over the last couple of years with her three-point shooting and the magnificent ways that she plays this game. She was the all-time leading scorer in college at the University of Iowa, where she made it to a national championship game. Ultimately fell just short of a national championship to LSU and Angel Reese. But that's one of those storylines I'm looking forward to seeing going into this year and how that rivalry kind of evolves. I know Caitlin Clark's been by far the better player out of those two, and she's been by far the more interesting one to watch. But Angel Reese has held her own in terms of storylines and in terms of her play on the basketball court. And so I'm interested to see, now that Angel Reese is at a new destination, how that kind of evolves and what we see from both of these players. What are your thoughts on the future of the WNBA?
I think the future is bright for the WNBA. A lot more people have started to follow the league just in the last 2 or 3 years. I have actually watched a couple games on TV, and that fan base has been growing over the last 2 or 3 years, and it is just getting bigger and bigger each and every year. And I also, another player who I want to see do well is Sabrina Lunsky from Oregon. She is a talented player. She can move up and down the court. Her three-point shooting is unbelievable. She can drive to the basket. She can do the things that she needs to with her teammates. I'm just blown away by how the WNBA has evolved from the NBA. But as far as what we will see, it's going to be an interesting season, and I promise that we will get into this a lot more. And I would like to thank again my good friend Logan Urey for bringing this feedback for us.
Yeah, certainly. And, it's coming into that summer season where there isn't as many sports to cover. And so it is great to receive feedback from our viewers. So if any of you guys have feedback for us, feel free to keep it coming, and we'll keep bringing you some great content. We are going to cover a couple of more topics here real quickly before we wind up here. Bishop Kelly 3-star edge rusher Jack Henderson, who is the top-rated player in the state of Idaho for the 2027 class, has committed to the University of Utah. This is obviously big considering Utah's in a transitional phase with new coach Morgan Scalley. Getting a great defensive player like Jack Henderson, who seems to match the identity of this Utah football team, being fundamentally sound on defense, being able to tackle, and just being able to stop the run and the pass. We've seen the University of Utah over the years take a lot of pride in their defense and their physical play and their physical intensity. We want to be better at the point of attack and at the line of scrimmage. And that's the way that Utah wants to wear teams down. And so getting another big recruit like Jack Henderson from Idaho, who's the top-rated edge rusher in the state, it's a big deal. So congratulations to the Utes on that. The Salt Lake Bees have opened up a new season in Reno on Tuesday, taking an early 3-2 lead on Donovan Walton's home run. But a decisive six-run fourth inning from the Aces proved just a little bit too much, as the Bees fell to 9-4 and dropped to 3-7 on the season. Fell 9-4 and dropped to 3-7 overall on the season. It's obviously exciting when there's a new Bees season. A lot of people from the area want to get out and watch a Bees game. They're not the most necessarily polarizing or crazy sports topic to discuss, but it is a fun, family-friendly event. And without a Major League Baseball team, a lot of people from Utah enjoy going out to a Bees game. I know I have. What's your thoughts on the new Bees season and just the summer sports that we're about to experience?
I really have enjoyed going to a lot of Bees games over each summer with my family or friends. It's just an overall great experience. The entertainment is really fun. The baseball is really a great thing for the fans to watch as the summer gets going. I am kind of eager because now that they've moved from Salt Lake to South Jordan, I don't know how good as in fan base wise, but I know that a lot of people who live out there in the Daybreak area will go and support the team, and I hope that fans that are here in the city can make it out to a game out there. I have been out to a ball game there last year, and the stadium is just unbelievable. It's next to none, and we're not great, but we're decent. It's just a fun, family-friendly environment, and I encourage you to go to a game this year or just whenever you can in the upcoming future.
I still personally haven't been to a game since they moved out to Daybreak. I know I enjoyed it a lot growing up, but I do think it's fun to kind of cover that a little teeny bit, cover something a little bit different on a day like today. There's one more big topic I want to cover before we hop off here, and that is the national championship game. March Madness is finally wrapped up. We're getting into Masters Week and summer sports, which we'll be covering more in the near future, but we want to talk about the national championship game. Michigan beat UConn 69-63 in the national championship game in an overall great team effort. We saw a really back and forth first half, followed by a second half where Michigan kind of was able to pull away. A couple of late fouls kept UConn in the game. A couple of big time clutch threes by UConn, but ultimately Michigan was just too powerful and tough and able to pull it off, which is what we've seen throughout this tournament. This game wasn't as much of a blowout, but they showed their true team character. They showed what they're made of, and it was a great and fantastic way to end the college basketball season. Just give us your final thoughts on that, Zach.
I really enjoyed watching that game. It went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There were a lot of great plays, a lot of not so great plays, but I really like to see both teams battling it out on both sides of the ball. All these players were just going at it. They knew that they had one last opportunity to overcome and win a national championship, but in all ends, Michigan came out on top. And I feel for the UConn fan base, that team. They've been the runner-up the last couple of years. They've won it. Dan Hurley has really had that team risen from what it used to be back in like the last 10 years. He's really got that that program going in the right direction. So respect to UConn. They played a really great game. Hats off to Michigan. They just were the better team, to be honest. And I'm really excited for that fan base and that college and all the NCAA basketball fans who tuned into that game. And I expect bigger and bigger things from Michigan next year and the coming years. And I just am kind of sad now that college football season is over, college basketball season is over. We're going to get into some golf, some bees baseball, some other things, WNBA. But to be honest, the national championship game was a huge success, and I am really looking forward to March Madness again next year.
Yeah, certainly. And just for a little side note before we wrap up, Elliot Cadeau led the Michigan Wolverines with 19 points. Axel Lindenberg, who played hurt, added 13 points in a massive win for Michigan. Great contributions from those two. As for UConn, Alex Karaban, the senior, who's won 2 national championships there, added 17 points and 11 rebounds, but ultimately came up just short. Reed Jr. also added 13 points and 14 rebounds, but ultimately it just wasn't quite enough for UConn. They had a great season. They had a great run. But Michigan, congratulations. You guys came out on top, and certainly well-deserved, but they had a great NCAA tournament. And yeah, well, that's pretty much all we're going to cover today, guys. If you haven't, just make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our future content. We really love the opportunity to be able to do this podcast, and we're going to have a lot of great things for you guys coming this summer, despite the fact that there won't be football or basketball. Still a lot of great sports around the state and a lot of great storylines. Like Zach said, hopefully we'll even cover some World Cup and maybe some Major League Baseball. It'll be super fun to continue to be on this journey and to be able to enjoy what we do. And so it couldn't happen without you guys. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you all on episode 13.
I, too, want to give a big shout-out to all of you, the fans, who tune in each and every week. It means the world to us, the support, the love, the feedback, the followers that follow. I'm just blessed beyond measure, and I am so excited just to keep this thing rolling. And without you guys, this thing doesn't happen. And I am truly grateful for James and for his courage each and every week to come and do a podcast with me. He is a great friend of mine. He is a great co-host. And I just am really blown away by the outflow of support and guidance and all of you for your welcoming us on the airways. So yeah, thank you so much. It means the world to us. We couldn't do it without you. And we will see you on the next episode.